we'll continue with another speaker who will tell you something more about the blockchain mapping on sustainable development goals of UNOPS. And she's Sophie Gu. I'm really excited to introduce her to you. She's from ConsenSys, and she will tell you something more about the ConsenSys and UNOPS initiatives.
My name is Sophie. I'm from ConsenSys Social Impacts. So over the past few months, we've been doing this project with UNOPS to map out blockchain use cases to SDGs. And as a team, we're always asked the question, what is blockchain useful? What makes a good use case? Things like this are really hard to explain by theory, and frankly, people just want an example or an analogy, so that lines of thinking leads to block case. So what exactly is it? Block case is a series of blockchain projects, case studies of blockchain projects that are actually doing real on-the-ground work that are contributing to SDGs. It is also an interactive website where people can linger on and play with and make some conclusions of your own. So we try to make it a library of interrelated concepts and facts that can lead to some pretty concrete understanding of the current landscape for things such as what ideas are being explored, where pilots are running, how many years are they into development, what about their tech readiness, their tech stack, their token utility, things, and so on. For this initial iteration, we try to stay within our own ecosystem because we know and trust the team that we work with. We assess a variety of factors, including the maturity of the projects, its tangibility to the goals, whether it's a proven concept, whether they have actual pilots on the ground, the credibility of the team, and whether they are in active development. And each case study is a collaboration between ConsenSys Social Impact and the project team to run through the project, the problem space, the blockchain approach, the architecture design, their current status, and the long-term vision. So, all in all, a total of 20 cases are being studied. They are mapped to 14 sustainable development goals, with the exception of Goal 3, healthy lives and well-being for all, Goal 5, gender equality, and Goal 6, clean water and sanitation. Cases that we've seen range from tokenized commodities, distributed energy trading, decentralized credentialing, to systems that capture immutable war crime evidence. Those 20 case studies are on average aged between 1 to 2 years old. Over half of them are still in the research and development phase or testing phase, and they extend over 11 industries, from agriculture, consumer goods, to media and philanthropy. 90% of the projects that we studied have carried out or are carrying out actual pilots on the ground with partners in various places around the world. So what are exactly being explored? From our cases, we summarized a list of core value propositions of blockchain. Those are namely immutable proof, data governance, user agency, token economy, smart contracts, asset tokenization, and crypto economics. If you are not sure what any of those means, no problem. We'll give you a definition followed by examples that will elaborate on it. Similarly, we've concluded some common ways that tokens have been used in crypto systems. Those are include but not limited to payment, staking, voting, discount, access, and digital representation of a physical asset. Similarly, a definition will be given when you hover over and click on it. So what we've concluded from our research so far, 5 useful things that can apply to all case studies. First, blockchain is a blockchain. You don't always need a token. 50% of the projects that we studied do not have a native token. 20%, 25% do not utilize tokens at all. So what makes a token useful? Consider Mike Godin's Crypto Systems Manifesto. You will learn more on our site. Second, a hypothesis is a hypothesis. Successful concepts are tested. So 1.7 years into development, 40% of the projects are still being tested. So blockchain projects built from scratch really need a lot of patience from users and investors. Third, it takes a partnership. There's no standalone solution. For example, it's the partnership between ConsenSys Social Impact, MakerDAO, Tether, and Simple that makes Project Bifrost, which is an international aid transfer system that cuts transaction costs below 1%. We ideate the use case with Human Rights Foundation. MakerDAO provided a price-stabilized cryptocurrency. Tether converts that cryptocurrency into fiat, and Simple provides a solution for end-to-end deployment. And same is true for the collaboration between Viant, World Wildlife Fund, Traceable Solutions, and Sequest that makes tuna traceable along its supply chain. Also, blockchain alone doesn't solve the problem. For example, Quipple is using satellite imagery to create a non-fungible token that they're using to preserve rainforests. And Grid Plus is using a smart agent device that will automatically calculate your electricity bills and allow you to access the most cost-effective rates available at your time of use. Fourth, adoption depends on user experience. It takes a lot of hand-holding and a lot of onboarding. For example, Civil launched massive webinar campaigns when they tried to teach people how to use wallets. That campaign had led to critical conversion rate of 14%. Quipple and CryptoKitties both use games to entice early users and introduce them what is exactly a crypto system. Finally, what makes a good use case? So we ask ourselves, does it understand the problem space? Does it solve the critical pain points? And does it leverage the core value propositions of blockchain? So specifically, is a tamper-proof record necessary to the solution? Can participants benefit from a shared ledger? Are there massive risks in the system to be managed? Is there a low amount of trust between individuals? Can business processes be significantly automated? Can digitizing an asset facilitate its transfer? And can socially optimal behavior be induced and incentives aligned? So without further ado, I will show this quick demo of what we've built so far. So you go onto the home page, you scroll down and you see a list of all the SDGs. And here we go. And you click on either one of them that will lead you to all cases that are attached to this goal. And then you click on one that will lead to the project page. So here is our case study. We run through problem space, the blockchain approach, the blockchain architecture, their current status, and their long-term vision. And on the left panel, you will see series of facts, such as for the project specifically, such as the industry that they're applied in, their token utility, their tech stack, their years into development, stuff like that. And click on either one of them will link you to other projects that share the same characteristics. So Blockcase is currently still a book for showcase, but imagine what we can do with it. We can build little games around it. We can standardize our data and facts a little bit more to allow people to do their own research, and we can somehow formalize some workflows around each goals, because frankly, every project that we talk to they're looking towards organizations like UN for research and development efforts. So they want to collaborate and they want to launch pilots with you guys on the ground to test the concepts that they've developed. There are also immensely interesting concepts that we didn't have the time to cover at this moment, but that they definitely deserve our attention. So that concludes my presentation. I look forward to the discussion with the panelists about what you think, how do you think it will be useful, how it will apply to your work, and so on. And any questions or feedback, feel free to reach us anytime. We're at socialimpact@consensys.net.